Hello. Sinfonia Toronto's next concert is on Saturday, March 5 at George Weston Recital Hall. The title of the concert is Chopin and Dvorak, but we do have another composer on the program, a Canadian composer, Vania Angelova. We are going to play the world premiere of a new work by Vania, her Polyphonic Miniatures. The concert begins with Chopin's F minor piano concerto. Our soloist for this occasion is brilliant Toronto pianist, very talented pianist Kevin AHFAT. So the concerto has three movements and it begins with a maestoso. First movement with a long orchestral introduction, and once the piano comes in, it's endless melody. There is little interaction between the orchestra and the piano. As Chopin was more interested in melody than harmony, and he was self-trained really as a pianist as well as a composer. Since the age of 10, he had been gathering accolades in his native city, Warsaw, Poland, and so it was natural for him by as a teenager wanting to compose. So this first piano concerto that he writes in F minor is an excellent attempt. And the second movement is really the centerpiece of this concerto. At this point, Chopin was very much in love with a young Polish soprano, and the second movement is something that a soprano could sing very well. Endless melody. And again, very little interaction with the orchestra. But the third movement is pure fun. It's a mazurka, and at times it sounds like a Viennese waltz as well. And it's all virtuosity. In fact, the first movement and third movement has tremendous fireworks for the pianist to show incredible technique on the keyboard. After the Chopin's piano concerto, we are going to play Polyphonic Miniatures by Vania Angelova. So when Vania sent me this score, it immediately reminded me a work by Sergei Prokofiev, Vision Fugitive. Vision Fugitive is lots of short works that Prokofiev used to play as encores as a pianist. And the Angelova's polyphonic miniatures are a bit like those in the sense that they're all very short. One moment, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. So it's a suite of several short selections, and it's like a snapshot of a particular human condition. It paints a very quick portrait and then goes to the next piece. And the final work of the concert is Dvorak's Opus 96 string quartet. It's his 12th string quartet. He has written 14 string quartets, and the 12th one we are going to play is actually the most well-known, the most liked. And it is symphonic in its form, and so we are going to play it as an orchestra. I have arranged this and for orchestra, and we have performed it in Canada as well as in Europe on tour. The F major quartet was written in America, so let me begin from the year 1891 in New York City. A New York socialite by the name of Jeanette Turber in 1891 wanted to start an opera company. But by then, the Metropolitan Opera Company was very much established, so she could not succeed. The next year, she still wanted to make a mark on the city's history, so she wanted to build a national conservatory of music, and she wanted to bring a European artistic director for the conservatory. So she made a short list. Short list included Sibelius, Jan Sibelius, a young Sibelius, Finnish composer, and also Czech composer Antonín Dvorak. Dvorak was already well established. He was more mature, and he was really considered the most romantic composer in the late 19th century in Europe. And Sibelius was still young. We don't know whether Jeanette Turber actually made an offer to Sibelius and Sibelius refused. We don't know. We don't have any correspondence that has survived. But Jeanette Turber made an incredible offer to Dvorak. Dvorak absolutely accepted it. The offer included huge financial sum. It would have been 25 times more than what he would have earned in a year in Prague. So, and also 4 months of paid vacation and very light duties as a director of the conservatory. So Dvorak accepted it, and in 1892 he came to America with his wife, 6 children, their maid, as well as his secretary, and started working at this conservatory. And at the first summer vacation, he decided to go to Spillville, Iowa. Spillville is at that time was a town of 300 people, mostly Czech. It was a Czech community with a Czech newspaper and a Czech church. And it was very interesting for Dvorak to be there, and also very inspiring. He loved the beautiful land there, open spaces, and he was quite inspired. And he wrote a number of works there. His, of course, the 12th String Quartet was composed there. He started composing it on the third day that he arrived in Spillville, and he sketched it in 3 days, and he took another 12 days to finish the score. So the work was composed very quickly there. He also finished another work, very famous work, the New World Symphony, and also Opus 97, his string quintet there. So this was a very fruitful period for him to be in America, and especially the summer in Spillville, Iowa. So the piece is in the key of F major. F major is a key that is very suitable to a pastoral setting, like Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony. So the first movement is fantastic. It starts with an accompaniment, and then the beautiful viola solo comes in. And we have a beautiful, beautiful scherzo here. The slow movement is absolutely gorgeous. It's endless melody, endless melody. The slow movement has big dialogues between the first violin and the cello, and occasionally we have the second violins joining as well. But the scherzo movement is very characteristic Czech rhythms, but there is a bit of Spillville in there. There was a particular bird that bugged Dvorak very much when he would be sitting outdoors. This bird would be making would be singing, and it was something that he couldn't get it out of his mind. So he includes this in the scherzo given to the first violins, played very high in the on the on the fingerboard. The last movement is absolutely beautiful here too. It, just like the other three movements, it starts with an accompaniment, and then when the melody comes in, it's pure fun. And here in the last movement, we have two sections that are sound meditative. In fact, one of them sounds almost cantique. This is simply because Dvorak visited sometimes on certain Sundays. He would go to this Czech church and play the organ. And here, therefore, he writes something in the last moment, a couple of passages that very much of his time reminds us of his time in this church. So the concert is on Saturday, March 5 at 8 p.m. at George Weston Recital Hall. It will be live stream at the same time, and it will also be available online for the next 4 weeks. I hope you'll be able to join us. Thank you.